back again with something real simple, something very historic. Obviously, I don't need to say a whole lot. It's quite clear what I'm looking at because you guys understand exactly what it is that I'm looking at. What I'm looking at is a steam locomotive with the tender. Now, I don't know a whole lot about steam. I don't know much about anything really about steam. So all of the many details that you don't find on standard locomotives is going to be out of my realm, out of my scope of information. But I will show you as much as I can. I did something similar like this when I was in Nebraska. I saw a motor up there. So obviously I'll point out to you the stuff that I obviously noticed. You got some brake rigging detail right in this area. More brake rigging detail, brake shoes that are not applied obviously. Motors chalked. You guys can see those chocks, permanent wheel chocks right there under the wheel. So the motor's not going anywhere obviously. But get you guys a much wider view on this thing. This is a massive, massive locomotive. Get you back in here. So just taking a walk around it, looking at some of the detail that is on this massive hunk of metal. Got a little information here. Pause this, read it for yourself if you want. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time reading it. So if you want to read it, feel free to read it all on your own. But obviously, they got a fake Santa up there. Down in this area, you got more brake rigging detail near the wheels, steps, stirrup, all kind of hoses and lines and actuating stuff and little turn levers there. Got all kinds of stuff down deep inside this thing. Let's get deep in there. All kinds of detail down in here, guys. Stuff that I don't know about, but clearly somebody does though. But this is I mean, this is awesome. This is beautiful. I mean, looking up even into that cab there, you see all those different kinds of knobs and levers. And see if I can get the brightness up in there. Look at that. All kinds of different stuff up in there. Notes on what they all do and what they all say and what they all react to, and to push this, to pull that. Matter of fact, there's something that I think I might know what it is. You see that lever? Let me find it on the camera. That lever right there, it's kind of vertical. That might be what is called and considered the lay shaft. Lay shaft, folks, gives the motor a little more power, adds a little bit of gas to a diesel engine. My guess is that by doing that, it maybe shoves some extra coal or something into the boiler pot or the coal burner or something. I don't know. That's just my guess. Looking more at this locomotive from the side, got all kinds of rivet detail, all kinds of nuts and bolts and lines and piping and levers and apparatuses all over this thing. There's so much. I don't even know what half this stuff is. It just looks really cool. It looks freaking cool, man. I mean, these freaking massive driver wheels. I don't know what those little wheels are called, but they're like the trailing wheels. But you got these massive, like, I don't know, maybe 8-foot tall freaking driver wheels. These just massive suckers. Massive drive rods and pistons and levers and I mean, this is just pretty freaking awesome. You got your driver wheels down there in the front. Get you one little gloss over. Of this motor. I mean, it is extremely detailed. And I mean, not like this is a model. This clearly was once upon a time a locomotive pulling a train, and whether it be diesel or freight. It obviously operated on the former CB&Q line for the BNSF. You know, all kinds of stuff and detail down in there. Once again, motor's chalked. It ain't going nowhere. This is the BNSF, the CB&Q 3003. Looking at this massive behemoth from the front. I mean, massive. I'm gonna turn you vertical. I got to get a picture of that. That's just nice. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Oh yeah. Got their little sanding tire, add some sandies to the motor. See if I can get, let me see, I'm gonna walk back over here real quick. All right, folks, sorry about that. I wanted to get a couple pictures from the side there. But obviously, I'm gonna need some of my steam experts that follow me here. I'm gonna need y'all to chime in and help us non-steam folks out that don't know much about steam. I always tell my friends and family, I'm never gonna challenge you on something that I don't know about. I'm never gonna question you on something that I don't know about. Unless I know something specific, I'm never gonna challenge you on it. And I'm not afraid to admit I don't know a whole lot about steam. But I know one thing, it looks awesome. It looks awesome. I completely understand why steam has so many followers and why it's so impressing. Just, I mean, especially in person. Getting a model of it is nothing in comparison to seeing one of these massive things in person. But I absolutely wish that I was able to, let me get out of the mud here. I absolutely wish I was able to climb up there and see more of the detail that's going on inside the cab. Let's get up in there. You see all that stuff, guys? Looking at all that detail inside there. Try to brighten you up so you can see some more of that detail. It's crazy, the amount of levers and push rods and actuators and turn knobs and all kinds of stuff in there. It's crazy. CB&Q 3003. Looking back here at the tender for the Burlington route, you got this massive piston. I'm guessing that's a brake piston. That's one massive son of a gun of a freaking brake piston. I mean, you got what, six axles, so 6 wheels on each side and one brake piston that has to supply the pressure to those brake shoes. So that's a massive freaking brake cylinder, massive brake cylinder. But with something of this size, what else do you expect? Oh man, I better get some extra points from you guys. I'm walking all through the nasty mud to get this motor for you guys. For those who don't have the opportunity to see this, this is awesome. This is just freaking spectacular. Freaking just freaking spectacular. Okay, just freaking spectacular. All right, guys, I'm not gonna hold you all day. Just wanted to show you guys this awesome looking locomotive, steam engine, the CB&Q 3003. One day I might get some steam on my channel, I don't know, but until then, guys, enjoy this view, soak it in, soak it up, love it, love on it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's your boy Flash Jones. I'm out. People, how are y'all doing? Today we got another day out here. I think this is considered Dunlap or something like that. It's out near Peoria, Illinois. As you guys probably saw just in that the video right before this one, we were looking in Burlington, Iowa, and we were looking at another steam engine that's set on display from the BNSF. This one, I believe, is the Rock Island 886, so 886 steam engine. Once again, those who know steam gonna have to chime in here and specify details that I may possibly get wrong about any of this stuff. But from the looks of it, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 2x6 or a 4x6. Sorry, you got 4 wheels up front, 4 pilot wheels up front, and then 6 drivers, 3 on each side. So 4x6x2 steam engine. From the looks of it, I mean, I'm gonna walk down. I'm gonna show you everything that's here. I'm gonna get you widened out a little bit so we can see everything. But you know, just looking at it from the tippity top, we'll zoom in. Got yourself a smokestack. I don't know what that is right there in the middle. Maybe boiler dome. Then you got your bell, maybe another boiler dome, and then some blow off valves, steam valves there, and then something at the very end there. I don't know what that is. Maybe I don't know what that is. Coming back to the front, you got all kinds of rods, you know, from that little light right there. You got like a light and some plumbing and whatnot that travels back towards the cab interior of the locomotive. Coming down a little bit, you got all kinds of rods and plumbing and stuff. You know, looking at the shaft detail here, the drivetrain of this steam locomotive. I mean, you know, like I said, I'm not a steam guy. Those who know me, you guys know I'm not a steam guy, but it is pretty awesome to see, you know, a steam motor in the flesh. You know, it's a lot different seeing a steam locomotive. As far as scale, it's a lot different seeing these things in person. I would definitely love to have seen that big boy 80, I forget the number, but that big boy that the UP just did. I would have loved to have seen that, but of course, unfortunately, I was not able to see that. Those who are able to get out there and see that, that's awesome. Freaking massive piston right there. Freaking brake cylinder piston. As far as braking for this steam locomotive, I mean, just freaking drive wheels. These white faced drive wheels, freaking taller than me. You know. And you got your, I don't know what it's considered, but it's, you know, your trailing wheel, your trailing truck there. Maybe it's just there for support, you know, for the weight or whatever. But anywho, you got the Rock Island 886, a P31, if that's the classification of this locomotive, P31. I'm gonna walk down here and show you all the cars they got out here and whatnot. But you got your fuel tender. My guess is that it is definitely a coal tender. You know, but this is not my era. So guys that know, like I said, please chime in and let us know who don't know. Educate us a little bit maybe. But got an eight wheel, you know. So yeah, 8-wheel, you know, fuel tender. Typically like a standard rail car. Maybe it's not a coal tender. Maybe it's a different type. But it says, you know, 7,500 gallons. You know, I don't know. CRIMP. Anywho, got a bright orange painted Milwaukee Road passenger car here. You can see the truck detail on that. Car detail. Looking at that door, grab iron right there. Looking down here, looking at some of that piston detail, brake rigging detail. Pretty cool. For those that don't know what a semaphore arm is, some of them call them a semi-forearm arm, but that's what's considered a semaphore arm. That was the early signal system back in the day before they had colored signals, you know, and that was their way of communication. And if I'm not mistaken, where people in the model industry have heard the term highball, you know, there used to be a ball and chain before they had the actual semaphore arms. There used to be a ball and chain that was hung up there at intermediate spots where a train was approaching a depot. And if the chain and ball, if the ball was high up on the chain, that was considered highball, and that you did not need to stop at the next depot to get paperwork or slow down or any of any kind. And so that's where highball comes from. And then of course guys just took that same thought and applied it to the signals. And you know, when they came across a green, they would say highball. Highball, good to go. So when looking at this semaphore arm, the signal that you see there is what we would get our approach or approach medium. Back then they only had approach. So they would go from a clear to an approach to a red. That what you see there is an approach. If it was a clear, as in highball green, good to go, it will be completely vertical. If it was red, it will be completely horizontal, which will be indicating stop. And that one that you see there is considered an approach. An approach, as in proceed, prepare to stop at the next signal. And trains exceeding 30 miles an hour need to slow immediately to 30 mile an hour, preparing to stop at the next signal. But of course, moving on, more truck detail on this passenger car. I don't think that's an actual passenger car. Actually, this might have actually been like a mail car. I don't know, but this is prior to my era. So those who know, again, please chime in, and let us that don't know, let us know, please. Then we have one of the different TP&W style cabooses. It doesn't have the typical up top seating area. They have the protruding from the side seating area. And so, of course, we have some more truck detail down there. Rod detail, hand rods and whatnot. Air reservoir detail, piston detail right in there. More truck detail. Guys, just so you know, this location is actually a museum. When they're open, you can go in there and you can walk inside these cars and everything. So if you definitely wanted to come out here and take a walk and get up on that steam motor up there, you definitely have that as an option when this place is open. It's freaking cold out right now. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm trying to keep my hands moving around because it's a little cool out. But I wanted to get this for you guys. I definitely wanted to see it myself, but I figured I'd show you guys too. Now we have another, let's call it an actual passenger car. This one here, it's got 6 wheels on it, 6 axles. A tri-truck style frame, if that makes any kind of sense. I'm not too hip in the passenger talk either, so those who know have to educate me on that one as well. But anywho, I don't know if you guys can see this right here. That right there, that's a spring. Just not the coil spring right there, but the one right next to it. That one's kind of shaped like that's got an angle on it that's shaped like that. It's right there. That's also a spring, and it helps with the what do you call it? It helps with the oh, somebody was up there. All right. Anywho, those springs there, I don't know if that's a homeless guy or not, but they didn't say nothing to me. Maybe they saw me and wanted to skedaddle. Anywho, so those springs, just as the coil springs help with the keep the ride smooth, they also are there to aid with the suspension of the car. But you see all kinds of detail up under there. That looks to be maybe handbrake chain detail down in there. But you got all kinds of detail on this tri-truck, this 3-axle truck suspension system here. And then following along here, you have a couple air reservoirs, some kind of plumbing that's traveling along the side. Okay, you have a giant brake cylinder piston that's inside. More wires and plumbing and cords and giant air reservoir tank or some sort of tank of some kind. The lights are on the inside, so maybe they're doing something there. I don't know, but more on the truck detail there. End detail. That was the guy. Maybe he's not homeless. Alright. Old switch stand next to the tri-axle truck. Oh, here we go. Got some more exposed, I don't want to say brake rigging, but let's just call it brake rigging. That's definitely the brake cylinder piston that's inside. Have some other compartments and stuff going on there. Some maybe luggage or storage area that's definitely locked up. There's some of the end detail there. That's definitely cool. Now we have a little switcher. Number 2, WOT number 2. These little switchers were what they use to switch, local industries and light small trains and yards and whatnot. No trespassing. Don't want you up there. It looks like it's all wood. Yeah, so this must be really, really old. Wow. But that's about it, guys. I'm gonna get some photos here for us, so we'll have some photos to look back on for Instagram and whatnot. But that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this little walkthrough of some steam era back in the day style equipment. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Flash joke.
Definitely.
So
Wow.
these will be heated and air conditioned once we get them, in their final position or whatever.
Yeah. Definitely didn't have McDonald's back in the day. Wow.
This was a little write-up about the train car. So this was 1957 when they first moved these cars from the railroad over to where the restaurant was. It had to become a beanery, part of a restaurant. And that was in 57.
Jeez.
But so what does it say? This car was built by Pullman in 1890.
1890.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was originally John Bunting was the gentleman who originally had it built for his wife.
Just for his wife, huh?
Yeah. She wanted to travel in style.
Yeah, that must be nice. Oh man, this is cool.
Okay guys, so I don't know where it's gonna fall as far as placement on these videos, but one of the gentlemen that was walking around the cars, he was actually one of the employees here, and he invited me in. We took a walk through both of those cars down there, both of the 2 passenger cars down there, and he showed me the insides and some of the plans and whatnot. They're trying to restore it. This is a museum here, and this museum is called the Wheel O' Times Museum here in Dunlap/Peoria. That TP&W actually stands for, as you can see on the far car down there, you may have seen earlier, is the Toland or something like that. Toland, Peoria, and Western Railroad. The gentleman that I talked to said that they are going to be open the first Wednesday in May, and it is a museum, not just a railroad museum, but it's a museum that has a little bit of everything of history: airplanes, boats, maintenance way equipment, not just railroad maintenance way, but other maintenance style equipment, tractors and planes and trains, and just a little bit of everything. Scrolling back through the Rolodex of time, guys. So if you guys have the opportunity to, I would highly suggest you take the opportunity to come through and see what they got here when the weather warms up and this coronavirus stuff calms down. Highly suggest you guys take your opportunity and stop by if you can and just see it. Just because, like I said, it's one thing to hear about history and talk about this history stuff, in class or on a video, but it's another thing to see it in person, feel it in person, smell it, in person, hear it in person. It's a totally different ball game, guys. So, anywho, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed all this little chat, little walk back into time. As you guys, I think I took photos and video of it. Those cars, those 2 coach cars, 1890. 18 freaking 90. That just kind of gives you an idea of when that thing was constructed as well. So, once again, guys, hope you enjoyed it. I'm out. Peace.